Want to help support the channel? Then why not check out the merch that's available from the links below in the description. Help out the channel and get more phenomenal stuff for yourself. And now with that, let's jump straight into the video. Ranger Nation, welcome back to another video. We're on episode 10 of Dino Fury in season 2 and we're reviewing it right now. So if you like this sort of content and you want to hear and see more, then click on that like button, hit that subscribe button and turn on all notifications. And why not pick up some merchandise for yourself as the man grabs the mic. So yeah, definitely worth checking out. Hopefully some new designs at some point. Anyway, let's carry on with the review. And for the very first time in most of the season, we find that the episode doesn't open up on the bad guy. Like normally that always happens. It's like at area 62. So this one is Ion and Izzy. And can you imagine like knowing that you've been in area 62 or near this area where the bad guys are and you know nothing about it? I generally kind of found it really interesting to me because that's what I thought. I was like, oh damn, that's gonna be something. But Izzy and Ion are basically mountain biking or racing through the woods, and that's when they stumble. Ion, I think, because I didn't see it when I was writing, but I think Ion hits her by accident, or a main thing because they're in the competition, which then causes Izzy to go off track to area 62 and damage her bike. And it's kind of a type thing. So they find these briefcases, and one thing I couldn't be mad because Izzy turns around and she's like, "Oh, we found this one. It's got this collar in it. It's basically a bad guy." I don't know why there's like tech like this that's kind of hidden, damaged, and stuff like that. But Izzy's like, "Oh, whoever gets it, finders keepers and stuff." And Ion then just finds a suitcase full of cash. Like there must be at least like $10,000-$20,000 just lying there. You kind of think you'd go back for the money, but obviously not. And Izzy gets really pissed off, but it's like, no, you put that rule in. It's like you said, it's finders, keepers, losers, weepers. So you can't get mad that Ion finds a bag of cash. Your reaction should have been, cool, let's have a look for some more stuff, not just, oh well. But it's also the first time that Rangers haven't like handed something into the police or something like that, when it's like, well, there's at least 20k right there, let's go hand it into the police or something. It's no, keep it. So Izzy gets really pissed off at him, and Ion's like, no, this is mine. And Izzy just constantly is just massively pissed off with him all the way through. I'd just be like, fuck, wish I didn't say that finders keepers rule. So Izzy leaves the collar, and Mucus suddenly like kind of appears, finds the collar and grows really large, and it's like, we don't need to enlarge monsters anymore or something like that. So it's interesting to see Mucus this big, and she's like, I'm gonna get revenge on birds, the geese or birds that are flying. I generally was like, that's actually quite funny. So it was not a bad scene. So obviously Mucus tells about the collar with Void Queen, and they know this, and they bring out the monster that I think that they showed in the trailer for season 1 or something, but it's the monster that I think is in Rhea Soldier in the first episode that causes a lot of kind of like destruction about and stuff, which is pretty okay. For some strange reason, Ion decides, he's like, oh, I'm going on a shopping spree, and just spends all the money. Now, I can imagine some of these things look pretty cool, but most of the thing, I was just like, oh no, that looks really bad. Like, it's one of those things when you walk by a shop and go, oh, I wouldn't wear that. It's not my thing. I wouldn't wear that sort of stuff, but to be fair, most of it looked, no. But he buys loads of different things over time, and that's the main thing. We then jump to Void Queen. She's locked up Terek, or Void Knight, and she's just like, oh, I'm gonna turn you or something like that, ha ha ha. And he's like trying to like get out, but unfortunately he can't, because you kind of think you'd put a fail-safe like switch just in case that you could get out, but nope, that's it. So the monster is called Flintarock. Nice name. Would have called it Flint Rock, not Flint a Rock, but that's a stuff for another day. The monsters have the names. I don't know why I'm talking like this. The Rangers start fighting, and then they get beaten, and then the henchmen come along, and then Flintrock grows giant and has too much power and kind of starts wrecking the city a bit more. As soon as the power is gone, Flintrock drops down and obviously has turned small because she has no more power anymore, and thus therefore she cheeses it and she's like, right, I'm completely off on this one. We then kind of have, he switches back to Iron with all his his purchases. He's been contacted or something like that, and obviously he's not got his wrist communicator on for some strange bizarre reason. That's kind of a bit further away. It's in a bag. And then Pop comes along, and he's really quickly he says some stuff to kind of make Iron go, well, I don't need this sort of stuff. So he gives Pop the jacket, and then basically with all the stuff that he's bought, he gives it to other people rather than keeping it for himself, which I generally thought was a really nice thing. It's just really random straight away to be like, well, I don't need all this sort of stuff, but obviously gives it to people who want it more, and it's a really nice sentimental thing. Generally thought it was pretty cool. Right now, the Rangers can't defeat Flintrock, so they decide to make the Primal Ultrazord. This is what we've seen previously in in the last season, flashbacks when Zato and stuff like that, where they have this immense power, but they're not able to control it. And Zato's a bit kind of wary because he remembers what happened last time, and he doesn't want his team to kind of go through that again. So they kind of talk about how to kind of make the Ultrazord work by rearranging certain parts, having flow of energy go through different ways, and kind of recalibrating certain things to actually make it. And Zato doesn't really turn around and say, oh, I can't have that. He's like, yeah, okay, we'll try this, but we'll take it a little bit to make sure it's okay. I don't want to kind of mess things up and have to do the same thing again. Flintrock is back. They form the Ultrazord. They beat Flintrock really easily. And, the power that this Ultrazord has, it's super fast. It's not like walk slowly. It's pretty much got speed power. It's a speedster. It can knock them into space. I can't remember if it teleports because it goes all over the place. But I think it is the most powerful Ultrazord that we've seen in all of Power Ranger history. And I was just like, do you know what? This is pretty cool. So I want to see it. I know people, if they do a versus match, it's like, oh, any other Ultrazord could defeat this. But it's a speedster, and to be able to move at that size, the speed of the Flash at least, that is some power right there. So obviously the Rangers just form it. They obviously win. And I was generally really impressed. I love the fact that we're seeing all this really kind of cool tech, as well as kind of cool power all the way through. At the very end, Ion apologizes to Izzy and says hey, I shouldn't have kept the money like that. You were right. We should be sharing it. And Izzy's like, nah, it's okay. I shouldn't have said this about that. I shouldn't have said finders keepers. So blah, blah, blah. They hug it out and they're pretty much fine. And Ion's bought her a new bike, and it then cuts to them at the very end, running about on their bikes and stuff and going, woo! And then it kind of ends. So for this episode, I was okay with it. I generally liked it. I like the fact that we're now getting kind of a bit more progress rather than kind of holding back. We're seeing the fact that they can now form the most powerful Megazord out there. I generally really liked it. I feel like there is a ton of stuff going on in this series, which I think is a bit better than normal. But to be fair, I'm all for it. I think it's a great series so far, and I generally am really enjoying it. I think the shopping spree, I can understand where they were coming from, but it's fine. I just really want to know more about Area 62 now. I'm getting at that point where we've had enough. We've had enough stuff leading up to it. I want to know more about it. But yeah, and I really love the Ultrazord. I think it's the most powerful Ultrazord that we've ever had so far. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. What are your thoughts? Did you like this episode? Did you not? Let me know down below in the comments. And while you're down there, hit like, favorite, comment, and subscribe. Check out the merchandise because it's more phenomenal. And with that, I'm going to leave it there. If I don't see you tomorrow, I'll see you in a couple of days.
チャンネルをサポートしてくれてありがとうございます。チャンネル登録、高評価お願いします。以下のリンクから商品を入手することができます。